where the seasons flow. We met where the stars take.
Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, this just feels so surreal. I remember the last time I said this was like 4 years ago. I was like, what, how many years? This is crazy. And I'm back on here. Who would have thought? I kind of knew, but I just didn't know when I'll be back on here. And I'm so grateful to God for coming back. Like, I'm just all round happy and radiant. If it's the first time seeing this face, hi, I'm Nikki Trini and you're most definitely welcome. Please don't make it your last. Make sure this is not your last. Just subscribe so you can join the little family. And for those of you that have seen this face a couple of times or that is familiar to this face, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for sticking by. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful for every one of you. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing something that I've not done before, and that leads me to giving you guys a little bit of insight about this channel. This channel will be about so many things, but for starters, it's definitely going to be about review, like making reviews, talking about controversial topics on things that have spiked my interest one way or the other, things that have provoked my thoughts, something that would catch your interest as well. Like, just so many things to unpack. This is just going to be the channel for all of that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this channel. I'm just so happy because I've not done this before, so it's kind of new to me, but then again, I'm so ready for it, right? So yeah. And I'm gonna name that Half Truth with Nikki. That's interesting, right? I know. That's why you should subscribe and don't go anywhere. So that name was, the funny thing is, I don't even know how that name came about. It just got ministered to me, to be honest. It just made absolute sense because Half Truth with Nikki, it's my own truth. They might be based on facts, but generally it's my opinion, so that's why it's half truth and just my beliefs, what I think about a situation or a topic. And obviously there'll be vlogs, there'll be lifestyle videos, different things, all of those lovely stuff that you guys would also love to see. But yeah, that would be a different video altogether. When I'm doing like a get to know me, I'm going to unpack all of that. I hope you guys enjoy this channel. Just subscribe and like this channel if you haven't. Without further ado, let's jump right into the reason why we're here. Before I even start this review, I want to kind of throw a little light on what I want to talk about today, which is God's timing. I'm coming back here 3 to 4 years down the line. And if I'm actually looking back or kind of reflecting on the times I've been wasted, the opportunities that have been missed, everything that just goes alongside with being a content creator or being a YouTuber, if I go back and look at the times that, or the opportunities, or the things that I've missed out on, I would feel discouraged not to even continue. So I just feel like, regardless of the delays in your life, it's just never too late to start. And that's what God's timing is about as well. Maybe this is the right time God wanted me to come on here to start this channel. Who knows? So I'm just so happy to be back. And yeah, I just wanted to throw that in. So let's now get onto the main reason why we're here. Okay, so I'm starting off with the overview. That's my general thoughts, my opinion about it, just everything that I think about the movie. Then I will now talk about the actual movie, and lastly, my message that I want to pass across. So this movie is by Bimbo Ademoye. It's on YouTube actually, and it was released I think a month ago. So let's talk about the acting of this movie. This movie was incredibly and impeccably delivered. It was crafted so meticulously, and I just feel like the actors, the cast in this movie were just so raw and emotional and intense. The emotional resonance was one to reckon with. The way they were able to convey their emotions so unfiltered, and so direct is something that I really, really took notice of and is remarkable. I would applaud Bimbo and Daniel Etin. What? I didn't know Daniel. I mean, I knew Daniel was good, but I didn't know he was this good. Like, I saw this man break down. Like, are you for real? This guy is good. Yeah, like every cast was just amazing. The roles were delivered. There was no awkward moment. It was just that great. Now, besides the acting, I want to talk about the storyline. The storyline was so aligned properly. It was intriguing. You know how Nigerian movies can be predictable and just, boring? But this one was not boring and it wasn't predictable. And one thing that I really, really appreciated was the style of the storyline. So she was basically telling her story while showing us the genesis of her life through the growth, the obstacles, like everything. It was just progressive. And I really liked that the both of them grew together. It was different from what we usually see. It was very structured. We were able to see the transition in their, growth. It was also provoking, but in a good way. You would see how they changed. The emotions were very, very amplified, which would make the viewer feel what they were feeling at every moment. So I definitely love the structure of the storyline. It was very well executed. That's for the storyline. Let's now go into the production. The production was not so great in terms of the quality of the movie. However, you wouldn't really feel it because of how interesting the movie was. I wouldn't say it wasn't great. It wasn't mediocre at the same time. It wasn't like that bad. It just wasn't perfect. But other than that, everything else was amazing. Okay, so yeah, enough of the overview. Time for me to dissect into this movie. So this was about a girl that was in Christ. She was so in love with God. She grew up with knowing God. She grew up loving God. And her life was centered in God. Like, she was living with her grandparents, right? Because her parents were gone. So she was living with her grandmom, actually. And every night, her grandmom would tell her these beautiful stories, which kind of also was nostalgic to me because I had this cousin that always told us folktale stories. So yeah, her grandmom would tell her, and just the children in the neighborhood, some folktale stories. So they would gather and like just have a good time at night. That's where she started liking Daniel 18. Effiong. That's when she started liking him, that was her crush. The feelings developed and they grew up, right? So here is when everything went down. They grew up, the love continued, it was brewing, and everyone was just basking in the euphoria of their love. It was just so beautiful to watch, and they finally got married. Like, I was so happy. Their marriage was so beautiful in the first year, down to the second year, and kind of in the third year, but it started getting sticky in the third year. She faced challenges like childlessness, and that made her kind of angry and sad and bitter. That was when, things started unfolding. They went through different ranges and series of emotions, especially Bimbo. So she was not just sad. Okay, so first of all, it started with, being fervent, being hopeful, loving God, trusting God, having faith in God. So that's how she started off. And they were very in love. They were like, if someone should see their life outside, you'll be envious of it. And that is the irony of life. You see somebody outside and you're just envious of that life, or you want their life, not knowing their challenges. Fourth year down the line, her faith reduced drastically. She started questioning God's sovereignty. She started questioning God's love. She started asking God why. However, in the midst of this trials, the angel was with her all the way. She encountered the angel on different occasions, but she didn't even know that it was God speaking to her. So this just made me, this is where I was like, I love this. Like, it was very emotional for me because that kind of demonstrated God's love for his children. That was so beautiful to experience. However, so sad that she couldn't even decipher. She couldn't feel his presence anymore, even when he was right there with her. She just didn't see that. She was too blinded and too overwhelmed with her problems. And this now leads me to my message, right? This life is so funny. First of all, number one message I want to pass across is that never envy somebody else's life. Like I mentioned earlier, if they give you their challenges, if they give you their demons, if they give you their issues, you wouldn't be able to handle it. Love yours, carry your cross, and always know that everyone has a cross to bear. No matter how perfect your life is or seems, don't envy that perfect life. Embrace yours, fight with yours, beg God to help you overcome yours. That's the best you can do for yourself. Secondly, never let your problems weigh you to the extent that you are ungrateful, to the extent that you don't even think about God. And guess what? This can be when things are happening so well for you. You now throw God to the side. Or when things are very difficult for you and you now feel like, oh, God is not there. You're now angry at God. The anger will not do you any good. Though. The anger will not do you any good. In that time that you're facing the highest trouble that you feel. And guess what? God will not give you something you cannot carry. Trust him. Okay, so another message I want to pass across, and this one is very vital. So people that are going through this situation, it's not going to be easy. Women, stop putting pressure on yourself. If you watch this movie, you see that Daniel was not even mounting pressure on her. She was the one mounting pressure on herself to give birth. She felt that the only way she could be a mother was to conceive, which is not the only way you can be a mother. You can be a mother to so many motherless children. You can adopt, you can do surrogacy. There's so many alternatives right now. And there's no stigma attached to this. So women should learn to not put pressure on themselves and to just trust God's timing. Guess what? In the end, she gave birth to triplets. So one thing with God is that he would now compensate you and give you way more than you asked for. Come on now. Searched. And you're scared. The little problem you're having, you're giving up. You're sliding back. You're fidgeting. You're scared. He has not given us the spirit of fear. So what are you afraid of? No matter how difficult a situation can be or impossible it is, one thing you should know that God would never give you something you cannot bear or carry. And he would always give you the tools. The tools are there. So just wait for him fervently. Wait for his time to come. And it will definitely come. It might delay. It might feel like it's not coming, but guess what? It will never be denied, right? So just remind yourself of God's promises, his plans for us. He will take us to expected end. Lastly, please, men, be emotionally intelligent to your women when they go through this phase, because it's very difficult on them. Be graceful. And our eating was so graceful that I was just in awe. The way he handled the situation, he never cheated on his wife, even when he had the urge to.
Leave me alone.
Despite her,
Who knows?
arrogance, despite her irritation, despite her disrespect, despite her emotions being all over the place, he was still a man that had the balance, that knew God's word, that honored God even in the midst of their issues. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I'm able to convey this message to you guys, and just a gentle reminder that no matter how difficult something is, God is God, and He would always, always be there for you, no matter what. But I just hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I honestly did. As you can tell, I was so passionate about this, so that was also what made me share this. I will catch you guys in my next video, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, I'll catch you guys on my next one. Bye.